Welcome to my channel, Military Comebacks. Today, I want to share a story that restores faith in honor, respect, and the unbreakable bonds forged in the crucible of war. It's a story about a young girl, her grandfather, and the moment when mockery turned into reverence. Settle in, because this is a reminder that heroes walk among us, often in silence, carrying burdens we can never fully understand. The autumn sun filtered through the tall windows of Lincoln High School's auditorium, casting long shadows across the wooden floor where nearly 300 students had gathered for the annual Veterans Day assembly. The air buzzed with restless energy, whispers filling the space. At the front, a makeshift stage was decorated with American flags and patriotic bunting. 17-year-old Maya Torres sat in the third row, hands folded tightly in her lap, trying to ignore the snickering from the students behind her. Her heart pounded, her cheeks burning. She had made a mistake, a terrible mistake, and now she was paying for it. It had started innocently enough that morning during homeroom. Mrs. Patterson asked if anyone had family who'd served in the military. Pride swelling in her chest, Maya raised her hand, thinking of her grandfather, the man who had taught her to fish, made her laugh with his terrible jokes, and still woke up at 5 a.m. out of habit. "My grandfather was a Navy SEAL," she said. "He served over 20 years with SEAL Team 3. The reaction was immediate. Tyler Morrison, the quarterback, let out a mocking laugh. "Yeah, right. Your grandpa. The old guy in that beat-up truck. He can barely walk straight. No way he was a SEAL." His girlfriend joined in. "My dad says everyone claims they were special forces. Where are his medals? Where are his stories? Real heroes don't hide." Maya felt her face burning. She wanted to defend her grandfather, to explain he never talked about his service because of what he'd seen and the friends he'd lost. But no words came. Now, in the auditorium, she could still hear Tyler and his friends. "Can't believe she's sticking to that story," Tyler whispered. "Probably made it up for attention. Sad, really." Her grandfather hadn't been able to come to the assembly, he had a doctor's appointment, but Maya had seen the worry in her grandmother's eyes. She hadn't pushed, he didn't like crowds or attention. Principal Hicks took the stage, his voice booming as he welcomed everyone and spoke about sacrifice and service. Maya tried to focus, but the words washed over her, unable to penetrate her fog of humiliation. She almost didn't notice when the back doors opened, but then she felt a shift in the room, a sudden wave of energy that moved through the crowd. Men began filing in, not just any men, warriors. Even in civilian clothes, their presence commanded attention. Most were in their 50s and 60s, gray or white hair, eyes sharp and alert. On each chest glinted the insignia of the Navy SEALs. There were at least 20 of them, moving down the aisles silently but with purpose. Whispers died. Even Principal Hicks stopped speaking. Then Maya saw him, her grandfather, Miguel Torres. He walked at the front of the group, taller somehow, eyes scanning the crowd until they found hers. He gave a small nod, and tears sprang to her eyes. The SEALs formed a line at the front. One stepped forward to the microphone. Principal Hicks yielded immediately. "Good afternoon," the man said, his voice carrying authority. "My name is Command Master Chief Daniel O'Brien, United States Navy, retired. We got word that someone needed backup today." His eyes swept the room, lingering on Tyler. "We're here because one of our brothers couldn't make it to his granddaughter's assembly alone. In our teams, we never leave a man behind." He gestured to Miguel. "This is Chief Petty Officer Miguel Torres, retired. He served with SEAL Team 3 for over 20 years, 3 tours in Vietnam, earning a Silver Star for valor. More missions than we're allowed to talk about. He saved my life in Fallujah," O'Brien continued, voice rough with emotion. "He pulled me out of a burning building." Another SEAL stepped forward. "Senior Chief Mark Russo. Chief Torres was my instructor at Bud S. He taught me that being a SEAL isn't about being the biggest or strongest. It's about heart, about never quitting. I wouldn't have made it through Hell Week without him." One by one, they shared stories, Miguel carrying a man 6 miles through enemy territory with a bullet in his shoulder, saving lives, guiding young operators through the darkest hours. Maya watched her grandfather stand ramrod straight, jaw tight with emotion. These were legends honoring him in a way he never would have honored himself. Tears streamed down her face. O'Brien spoke again. "Real heroes don't brag. They carry their experiences quietly, with dignity. Chief Torres is one of the finest men I've ever known. He looked at Maya, his stern face softening. Young lady, you should be very proud of your grandfather. We all are. The SEALs formed a corridor, saluting with precision. Miguel returned it, eyes bright with tears. The auditorium erupted in applause. Maya saw Tyler clapping mechanically, Brittany wishing she could disappear. Maya ran down the aisle, throwing herself into her grandfather's arms. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm sorry they didn't. Believe me, mija, he said softly. You have nothing to be sorry for. I didn't tell you more because I wanted you to see me as your grandpa, not just a warrior. I always knew, she said fiercely. I always knew you were a hero. Later, as the SEALs shared more stories and shook hands with students, Tyler approached Maya, apologizing. She accepted gracefully. Outside, sitting on the steps, she leaned against her grandfather. How did they know to come, she asked. I might have mentioned it to Danny O'Brien, he said with a smile. But that's the thing about the teams, we take care of our own, and our families are our own, too. Maya felt safe, protected, and proud. Students passed by, thanking her grandfather, their eyes filled with respect. Grandpa, she said softly. Yeah, mija. Thank you for being my hero, not just for what you did in the war, but for who you are every day. Miguel wrapped his arm around her. Thank you for being brave enough to be proud of me, even when others doubted. That took more courage than you know. As the sun set over Lincoln High, Maya understood something profound. Heroes aren't defined by the stories told about them, but by the quiet strength they carry, the lives they touch, and the love they give to those who matter most. She was her hero's granddaughter, and no one could ever take that away. If this story moved you, if it reminded you to honor the quiet heroes in your own life, please hit the like button, share your own stories of veterans in the comments, and subscribe to Military Comebacks for more incredible tales of courage and honor. These stories matter. These people matter. Thank you for watching, and thank you for remembering.